All right. You're welcome back. And the conversation right now is about the Sunshine State. The election, GUBER election, was held at the weekend, and the candidate of the APC, Governor Loki Ayedatiwa, the incumbent, was declared winner. In that election, and that was done by the umpire, the statutory body constituted by law to do that. They made that pronouncement. That's INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission, and Lucky Orimison Ayedatiwa, was returned, elected, having polled, in the excess of 300, and I try and get the correct figure right now: 366,781 to defeat all the other contenders, and his closest challenger, which is Mr. Gbolajayi, former deputy governor of that state, who polled 117,845, while ZLP's Dr. Abbas Mimiko came a distant third with 2,692 votes. Some have described the election or the win of Governor Ayedatiwa as a landslide because, of course, he got almost triple of what his closest challenger got. And, the Lucky Ayedatiwa of the APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected, and he won 18-0, all the local government in Ondo State. That's what has been described as a landslide. But then it's not just about that. We'll look at the process of that election that produced, Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, because on the day, observers, reports, and our own correspondents that were on ground there, Western Spring Television correspondent and Rave FM correspondent, reported what was on ground in many of the local governments that they visited. And they said, granted, violence wasn't a thing, although there are skirmishes, gunshots somewhere, but you wouldn't describe that election as a violent one at all. But then there is another elephant in the room, and then we get into that as well. But we have today with us virtually the director of media and publicity of the winning party in that state, that's the APC, Mr. Steve OTALORO. He joins us this morning. Good morning, Mr. OTALORO.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
All right. We had you before in the days leading to that election to speak on it, the preparation of your party. You spoke about your chances. Maybe you are right. After all, your party has won. But then I need you to give us an assessment of the process. It's no more news. Your principal, Lucky Ayedatiwa, has been announced as the governor-elect. Of course, is the governor there, incumbent governor as well. But, as a son of the soil, not just as a party man, how will you describe the election that happened on Saturday?
Thank you very much. All the local and foreign observer have described it succinctly. I think I would rather want to quote them than me giving my own personal assessment that you might still consider biased.
Okay.
They said this is one of the best elections ever conducted by INEC. It was devoid of violence, devoid of the normal rigging styles. They were shocked. They coming from that of Edo, they were looking at, they have that at the back of their mind. If there will be an improvement, it will be slight improvement, but they saw a massive improvement from that of Edo. This election was free, fair, credible. And a lot of people are giving pass mark to INEC. And if they could sustain this momentum going into other elections, I think it will be wonderful. Then gradually we are going into that era whereby we can say that elections in Nigeria is something to write home about, has been credible. So that at the end of the day, whoever emerges as winner will be seen from the perspective of the electorate, rather than some manipulations here and there. But one thing I will equally say is that this election was not 100%, but at least it was far, far above average. And in all assessment, the vote reflected what is in the states, and it's a slight improvement from the last one. That is the last election conducted in the state, the last governorship election conducted in the state. So all the stakeholders said, by our standard, this is a fair election. And I want to go by that standard as well, to describing, summarizing the entire thing.
All right. Fair enough to say you are pitching your tent. You rather pitch your tent with what elections observers have talked about, and which
Exactly.
is free, fair, and credible, using your own words. But then, because of time, let's just get straight into it. There are facts that cannot, be altered. Your candidate, that's your principal, Loki Aidatiwa, won in all the local governments. We even learned to defeat the candidate of the PDP in his own local government. Of course, it's part of the local government there. And the INEC as well, which is the umpire. Many persons has adjudged them to say, okay, they did their best. But the candidate of the PDP, that's Agbola Ajayi, has rejected the result of that election, saying, in his words, the INEC is compromised, and they said the security agencies, of course, were compromised in the election and urged the chairman of the commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, to resign. Ajayi, he voted at Unit 4, Ward 2, Idumado in Kiribo, SL, the local government area, expressed displeasure at the conduct of that election. He said it took more than 10 minutes, for the INEC beavers to capture him. And now these were his words. The system is not perfect, and there are a lot of complainants here and there. If INEC cannot successfully organize an election in just one state, then you must know that we are running into anarchy. I think it's deliberate on the part of the INEC, and that's a strong word, Mr. OTALORO. He said, I think, that's Mr. Ajayi, I think it is deliberate on the part of the INEC, on the part of the Resident Electoral Commission, REC, and we have said several times that we don't trust Oluwatoyin Babalola, that's the REC, that this woman cannot be fair. The system is compromised, and we have a series of calls made by everybody. People are complaining about vote buying. The beavers problem, it is a very shameful exercise. He said, I think people should call on the INEC chairman to resign if he cannot do the job. He should just resign. It is totally compromised. This is sad, and Nigerians are not happy. Here, it is peaceful to some extent. These are the words of the main challenger, Agbola Ajayi, as well. And he's one man that people should know that he knows what he's saying. What's your reaction to that?
Well, that can be true that he knows what he's saying. That is a reflection of him losing not only his local government, but his ward as well. He narrowly won his polling unit. That's a reaction from such man. What do you expect? How many politicians have lost election and came forward to say this election is perfect? When politicians react, you have to look at critically what the observers are saying. Was there anything that looks alike in all the local and foreign observers? What they said about this election? So naturally, you are expecting a reaction, a fierce reaction, for a man that lost everything. This is the first time in the history of Ondo State. Even when the days of Awolowo, we still have strong opposition winning some local government in Ondo State, the MPN of this world. When the UPN will still win, they will still win some local government. But this is the first time an opposition political party will be losing everything. Before this election, we're having 51 local government, that is LCDA, 33 LCDA, and 18 local government. They lost everything. And you think such man will react well? That reaction suggests that he doesn't know what he's saying, because what he's saying is not what the observers are saying. What he's saying is not what's on ground. What's on ground clearly shows that the opposition lost that completely. So if instead of him coming up to congratulate the winning candidate, he's only reacting to justify his earlier claim that this woman, that is the INEC rep chair in Ondo State, Oluwatoyin, cannot conduct that election. At the end of the day, that woman has been vindicated. because she did not only conducted that election well, she conducted one of the most fair, the freest election in the history of Ondo State.
Mr. Otaloro,
And
it
before that
wasn't.
election,
It wasn't only Mr. Agbola Ajayi, Honorable Agbola Ajayi, that lost. I mean, that lost and complained. The SDP as a party as well has rejected that result as well. That's Mr. Gbenga Akibole, the chairman. He denounced the election and alleged widespread harassment and intimidation of the party's agents. So it's not just about Agbola Ajayi.
thank you very much. You just said another sore loser. But
Sore loser.
This is a man that won just 438 votes in the entire state. 438 votes in the entire state. If such men are coming forward as well to test this election, it's understandable, because he equally lost woefully. He lost everything, including his polling unit, his ward, and his local government, and the entire local government in the state. So if Akingboye is saying that as well, well and good. We told him, we responded to what he said. Right. Because in his response, he was even asking INEC to declare him winner. He came 16 in that election. 16 out of 17 candidates. He came 16. Was asking INEC to declare him winner. That was what he said. Declare you winner. It's laughable. What did we told him? Instead of you rushing to the press conference, why don't you just prepare your suit and go to the court? The tribunal will be waiting for you. Will be able to receive you. See, when politicians, please, let's don't give too much credence to all these reactions from politicians. Listen to observers. Listen to your reporter that was on ground.
You're a politician yourself. You're a politician yourself, and we are listening to you.
Yes, I know, but when we devote too much time to their reaction, it's people who are not aware how this election went down will be thinking it was marred by violence and not what you're saying, which is not true. All right. This election was very, very fair, credible, and we can all see the result at the end of the day. We as a political party, we are not shocked that we won all the 18 local governments, but we didn't believe it could be this massive, because we knew there were no on ground for that election. None of them. All the
right, Mr. Otaloro.
Gladiators have moved into our party.
All right, Mr. Otaloro. I should first say congratulations
you
to
win
you
by structure. Let me
and
explain
your
this.
party. If you can hear me, Mr. Otaloro. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Very well.
Okay, so I was saying that I should congratulate you and your party on your victory. Election that happened on November 16. And
thank you very much.
Yeah, while you were speaking, you said we should not listen to political, because they are politicians, that we should listen to observers, we should, listen to our reporters who were on ground for the election. Now, taking up the reports by our reporters, it was said that this particular election, yes, there might not have been violence, but it was hugely characterized by vote buying. In fact, we saw videos of people confessing to how much exchanged hands, between the buyers and the sellers. We heard that your party also, provided money for that election, and that is a crime. When it comes to election process, vote buying, vote selling is a crime. First, I'd like to ask you the question: how much did your party provide per voter? How much did it go for?
It's like you've concluded.
I'm asking you a question, really. I want to know how much exchange.
We're asking you a question based on our report, because we have reports.
No, but let me go on. It's an accusation maybe based on what some of the election observers actually said, that some people were buying votes. We had that equally. And we even had it on one of the national TV that some people said they received money. You see, we are the party to beat in this election. And there's no way we could descend to that level to give money when we are the party to beat. It is those people who are competing with us that will use every other tricks, to get there. But as a leading political party, We in the whole of Ondo State, we are more than 85% in terms of being the biggest. So we just have remnants of other political parties. Why should we induce electorate?
Mr.
When we have
OTALORO,
so many things to do. You know,
Mr.
the
OTALORO,
inducement we gave to the electorate.
now I am going by the reports.
Is the promise of the government.
Of our reporters that were on ground. You said we should listen to them. I'm not taking the words of politicians now. I'm, listening to our reporters who were live on ground for the election. And, we spoke to high, or should I say, office holders in the APC, people who held offices in the different wards in APC. Some of them confessed to, how much exchanged hands, and you're saying your party was not involved?
You spoke with wood in APC.
I'm sure you must have seen the videos.
It should be apprehended by now. I saw the video. We saw the video of a guy that was apprehended with lots of money. We are expecting the outcome of the DSS. They arrested him. Who sent him? It's from what political party? We looked at that guy very well. He's not from our political party. We don't know him from Adam. That's the more reason we said DSS should come up with their finding in the report of their investigation. So, we're equally interested.
Okay.
Anything that will bring this report to an election with the testing with all ramifications. We're interested. We're an interested party as well, because we believe if he had had his way, he is going to cheat us out of our numbers of votes. And maybe some people had their way. That was why we had the lesser vote we had. It could have been more. That's our own expectation. So in order to guide against the next election, all those who have been apprehended should be brought to book. They should be tried. And your reporter that said he witnessed such things should be able to tell you which of the political parties involved. Definitely.
And I'm telling you that it was APC that was mentioned. Your party was also mentioned.
By your reporter?
Yes, your party was mentioned.
That can't be true. As the spokesperson of the party, I'm not aware I saw your reporter. If your reporter got such issue, he should be able to consult the people in charge, the spokesperson of the party, not the chairman and other party officers. He should be able to confirm. You see, there are moles. I can't rule out the fact that there are moles in this election. A lot of moles were sent to our political party to monitor us. Some of our strategies, before we know, we heard from the other hand that...
Mr. OTALORO, you mean moles that were sent to your party to monitor, or moles that were sent to your party to spend money on your behalf?
Yes, you see, this is election. It's very tricky. There are so many things involved. We are aware of those moves. We are very much aware. And if anybody is posting as an APC person, you should be able to cross-check from party officials.
Mr.
Maybe these are moves sent to our party.
We'll play you, some of the clips so that, in the course of this program, we'll play some of the clips so that you can get the first-hand information. And this is not from an outside media outfit. It's from our correspondents who were live on ground for that election. In the course of this program, definitely back-end guys would, bring it up, and we would have you also, hear it with your own ears and see it with your own eyes, what went down that day. But what you're saying emphatically now is that your party never gave out any money. You never bought votes. You didn't, get votes from these voters via money, via trading.
Yeah. Immediately after that election, the first interview the governor had, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, had with one of the national TV stations. Let me reiterate what he said. He said he never asked anybody to give money on his behalf. He never, as a candidate, asked anyone to distribute money on his behalf. And that same statement I'm lashing on. If the candidate is able to say that he never asked anyone, the political party that I represent as well, I'm saying this, we never distribute any dime to anyone on an election we are winning. On this election, there are things you do, there are things you don't do. We don't do things that will jeopardize our position. We are on the winning streak. We are back to back. We've been winning election in Ondo State, and there's no such thing. If oppositions are coming up to say this, or observers are coming up to say this, they should be able to investigate further.
All right.
Who is the political party behind this?
Is it possible that many well-wishers of your party or your candidate maybe, tried to do that on behalf of your party, even though they were not sent? Is that a possibility?
Anyone that indulges in such things should be apprehended. The governor just told you, we never asked anybody. He never asked anyone to distribute money on his behalf.
But you know, many of the electorate
if
confess to
does
collecting
that,
money.
No, just listen. There are things you don't do on election day. There are things you don't do. This contravenes the law.
All right.
Why will anybody distribute money? If anyone does that, he should be apprehended. We didn't ask anyone to do that. And by the way, why should we ask anyone to do that if we are not doing that ourselves? That is extremely against the law. It brings disrepute to an election.
All right.
And not the one we are bound to win. And which we've won.
Yeah, Mr. Otaloro, one of the clips we're talking about, you get to see right now, a reporter was there, and this was gotten from PU 006, Uso, Ohiolei, our local government. Just take a look.
Today now 5,000 and pay for this issue. All people now 5,000 naira. Nobody.
At this time, residents of Ondo State have cast their vote, and in several of the polling units where.
All right. That is one of many. This is not to demonize, but it's just to have. I'm sure, Mr. Otaloro, you will. Especially as an elder, you will be proud of having an electoral process that is free, fair, and credible. I'm sure that will be your pride, as my pride, as anyone's pride as well. So this is not to castigate any party, but it's just to speak to us having a democracy that is fully fledged and the kind of victory that the winner will be able to say, yes, I got this from the support of my people, not the ones that are tainted by all these allegations. And that is just one of many. How do you react to that?
Well, that's the wish of all Nigerians. We see this as a nascent democracy. We hope it will grow to a level whereby you can even, before the election, cast your votes.
Yeah.
That's our prayer. There is what's the essence of democracy whereby the electoral process is fraudulent? Whoever emerges through that process can be said to be credible. That is not a legitimate government. And we hope we'll get there. But gradually we are moving forward. Hitherto, we see whereby ballots are snatched and snuffed with cast already printed votes. That we've gone behind now. The only thing that is people keep talking about is this inducement of electorate. We will get past it, and the electorate themselves, that is part of the voters' education we gave. That some people might want to give you money. Some of them said, we'll collect it. As we told them, don't collect it. Expose such people. You see?
All right. Are you still with us, Mr. Otaloro? All right. We're trying to reconnect, with him because actually he hasn't spoken to that particular video. I will ask him to do that as well, You know what they say, Evelyn, about victory being sweet. And of course, it's very sweet. But it's sweeter when the process that has produced you might be tough. But then, it's free, it's fair, and credible. And then you will, it has a way of rubbing on the governance and the leadership, because you can look at anybody in the face and you tell them, I didn't bribe any of you. This is the trajectory of my, policy, and that's how it will be, because you have no fear. Nobody will be able to text you and say, Governor, you know what you've done? I can just raise this, there will be blackmail. And this is what happens. It is about democracy and having a smooth process, because at least the way it looks now, it looks like the ends justify the means. Anyhow you get there, doesn't matter. Just emerge. And this is what you are seeing.
Yeah, Femi, I agree with you. And, they always say that in the spirit of sportsmanship, you should accept defeat. In the spirit of sportsmanship. But I want to go into sports. Sports have rules. They have, guidelines. And that's why even when someone is defeated in sports, he or she takes it in good stride and said, okay, I've done my best, I've done my bit, but this other person is a better contender. And so congratulations.
Shots are even exchanged.
When the rules are not followed, when the guidelines are skewed just to favor someone else, then we shouldn't be saying in the spirit of sportsmanship. Do you get what I'm saying? So I feel our electoral process, exactly, our electoral process should be more credible. Like you said, it's not just about people voting and a winner emerging. The process that brought out this person, how credible is it? How transparent is it? How open rather is it? These are the things we should focus on, and I believe these are the things the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, should focus on. What does he really want his legacy to be when he leaves that office? Does he want people to say, oh, there was a time we had an INEC boss who was at the helm of affairs and things went on smoothly? Remember what happened in the 2023 elections? Till today, people still believe that that election, is the worst we've had since 1999, although there might be some other, some other options from other people, but some people believe 2023 people really wanted to vote, but so many people the process was against them. So I believe Professor Mahmood Yakubu has the more chance to write his name in gold by ensuring that electoral process are free, fair, open, and without any bias.
Right. I agree with you completely, and other stakeholders as well, because the security agencies are part of the process, the electorates are part of the process, the politicians themselves, who we heap all kind of pressure, they are part of the process as well. So every stakeholder needs to do that. But then this conversation is not yet over. I will continue, but that will be after this break. Stay with us.